Regenerative farming with chickens. This is the World Organic News for the week ending 2nd of March 2020. John Moore reporting. Decarbonise the air, recarbonise the soil. This week I'm diving deeply into the humble chook. Known outside of Australasia as the chicken or hen, here they are chooks. Get used to the word as it's just what I use. Maybe you could spread the practice to where you live, a little linguistic trading. So to the chooks. There has been a rediscovery of the humble chook in suburban areas over the last, say, 20 years. Local authorities have changed bylaws to allow the keeping of poultry, often without the rooster, but that's not too big of an issue, as unfertilised eggs are just as delicious as the rooster-boosted option. Housing requirements are minimal, housing being more to keep predators out than to keep chooks in. We are fortunate in Tasmania that the fox was never introduced. We do have quolls and devils, but even the devils have been much reduced by the facial tumour disease that knocked out 90% in some areas. And I haven't spotted one round here in the 15 months we've been living here. Quolls will kill chooks, as will any number of predators across the planet. So keeping the birds safe, especially at night, is the goal. The other reason for housing is egg collection. If allowed to free range, eggs tend to be distributed across the landscape eventually. So nest boxes, roosts for sleeping on, and a predator-proof container are the basics. I would advocate for a chicken tractor, that is a mobile house. This way the birds can be moved to fresh grass daily or every couple of days depending upon your numbers and the state of the pasture. Breeds are a matter of personal choice. We have a mixed heritage rooster, one hen with the same background and 6 Polish hens. I'll do a blog post on choosing the right breed in the future, and you can see pics of our little flock in the show notes in the blog that accompanies this piece. So to using chooks in a regenerative way. As I said, tractors are the go. Fresh feed, pasture, land chickened up and then left. They are great for running over empty garden beds to freshen them up after harvest too. I discussed manures back in episode 201, link in the show notes, and poultry manure is high in nitrogen. There is some argument that it's too hot to use directly, but I find with the tractor method, the organic matter mixed with the droppings tends to cool off the material, so to speak. With this in mind, regenerative chickens are great for adding a consistent distributed nitrogen fertiliser across the growing space. This has the effect of increasing soil fertility over time. By working with this tractor model, the surrounding land also benefits and balances to some extent the effect of the big droppings load. To keep this right might mean moving the tractor twice a day or reducing the number of birds in the systems. It's all about observation and correction. Chooks improve the health of the local ecosystem in a few ways, not just the fertiliser. So they improve the health of the soil, and healthier soil grows healthier plants. And these resist disease and pests better than those grown in artificially fertilised soils. The birds also eat the larval and adult stages of many insects. Running them loose in the orchard over winter seems to remove the codling moth from pome fruit. I assume they eat the caterpillars or dig them up from their resting places over winter. It works, but the birds do need to be free-ranging for this, so balance, adjustment, results, it's a thing to keep in mind. As fairly non-discriminate eaters, chooks will clean your pastures and garden beds over time. As no dig gardens, we don't have much of an annual weed issue, but the chooks help. The pigs tend to deal with the perennial weeds. If you can't, don't or won't keep pigs, I would refer you to episode 203, Weeds, to meet that challenge in a non-toxic manner. Chickens will also fluff up the top layers of your soil. This tends to aid in water infiltration. They will, through the action of scratching around and concentrated fertilising and moving on, reduce or maybe even eliminate soil compaction through biological activity. Now, soil compaction is a terrible problem, and of all the ways to fix it, slowly and with the help of animals to incorporate water and organic matter into the soil is probably the best. As you're probably aware, biomimicry is a theme on the World Organic News channels, the podcast, the blog and the membership. So I'm by nature drawn to chooks for this process. And of course there are eggs. This is one of the 2 food returns from chooks. Despite the horrors of the 70s, 80s and 90s pseudoscience of nutritionalism, eggs are perfectly healthy to eat. Yes, yolks and all, and I eat a lot of them. It did seem odd that after millions of years of evolution in our lineage, all the way back to Australopithecus, we would suddenly be harmed by a food source we have consistently eaten over that time. So eggs can be consumed at home or sold, or better yet, bartered for other food or services. Now the other return from chooks for the household is of course meat, and this may not be for everyone. I have no issues with killing, processing and eating my own chooks. Maybe if I only had a couple and they were named and pets, the situation might be different. As a rule, I either skin them, well, there's no market for chicken skins with the feathers still attached, or more usually I simply remove the breasts and the legs. All the waste is buried at least 50 centimetres deep, that's about 2 foot in the old money, and then I plant fruit trees over them in autumn. That way the remains have had time to decompose and provide a good food boost for the fruit trees when they go in. It's about using everything but the cluck. So I would urge you to consider chooks as part of your regenerative system, from improved soil to reduce pests and disease in gardens and pastures, to the absolute joy of homegrown eggs and meat. Chickens may well be the perfect animal for your local ecosystem. It is also worth remembering, though, that chooks are the gateway species for many people. I know once I got used to keeping chooks, I had ducks, geese, peafowl, sheep and goats, and even a potty calf. They are dangerous animals, therefore, to have around, and you have been warned. Chooks are also covered in the free ebook over at worldorganicnews.com. Drop your email and first name into the form on the front page to get a copy of the No Dig Gardening book for free. The techniques and examples there will help you to feed yourself and your loved ones and to decarbonise the air and recarbonise the soil. Thanks for listening. I'll be back next week.